Fulham versus Manchester United, match preview, guaranteed 3 points. Let's go.
Ronaldo! It's one of the great Old Trafford comebacks. Astonishing!
The one thing we know of this game is that we won't be as negative as we were against Liverpool. The performance against Liverpool I was really disappointed in, because that was the best Liverpool team that we could have versed concerning the situation that they are in with their injuries. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't be like that. Subscribe right now so you can see more content of this quality. And the fact that we approached that game so negative and maintained that negativity from minute 1 to minute 90 was really disappointing for me. But one thing that we can really hold on to against this Fulham game is that we know that we won't be so negative. Fulham are a small team. Fulham are 18th in the log, on the log. Fulham are in a relegation position. They will be relegated if the log stays like this. If they stay on the log like that, there is no way that we will approach this game negative. No way. Anything but a resounding victory I will not accept, because this is a team, as I said, they are fighting relegation. They are in a relegation place. We are much better than them. We have much better players than them. We are bigger than them. We should be turning them over. A minimum of 2-0. A minimum of 2-0 I'm accepting. I don't even expect them to score. I don't even expect them to score because they are not a good team. And we are on form. We are playing well. So I expect us to have a resounding victory. We will not be approaching this game negative. We can't, because Fulham are playing us for a draw. We know that. Fulham are not thinking they can beat Manchester United. Fulham are coming there. We are going to Fulham, and Fulham are playing for a draw. So they will surrender the ball to us and they will park the bus, as most small teams do and most teams that are fighting relegation do. So in saying that we will have most of the ball, I expect us to go full force attacking. I don't expect us to be playing with two holding midfielders, out and out two holding midfielders. I will be very disappointed in Oli if he goes there and plays with two out and out holding midfielders like we played against Liverpool with McFred, McTominay and Fred. I don't expect them to play. But this is Oli can set up. There's two ways Oli can set up. Alright, first of all, we know the formation. We know 4-2-3-1 is our formation. It is our best formation that the players and that the squad and the team play with. So that settles it. We will be approaching that game 4-2-3-1. We know that. That's our set formation. But there's two ways that he can set up with the personnel, and this is one of them. So as you can see, the back line, we obviously know David De Gea will start. We know Wan-Bissaka will start. For me and for you guys, I know that you know that Oli prefers Victor Lindelof over Eric Bailly. You know that, I know that. Oli just likes Victor Lindelof over Bailly. And I think the reason is because Eric Bailly, you don't really know what you're going to get with him when he's defending a situation. Because Eric Bailly is very capable of getting a red card, and he's very capable of giving away a penalty. And you know, at big clubs you cannot be doing that. You cannot be giving away penalties. Even if you watch football and you see majority of the penalties that we get are from small clubs, because small players make those mistakes. Small players make those mistakes. What separates a top player from an average player? Yes, it's their talent, but most importantly, it's their decision making. It's their decision making. At that last second, what decision are they making? On the top end of the pitch, are they making that right decision to pass the ball, or they're just smashing the ball? When there is a pass, like Marcus Rashford in the previous game when he was running at on goal, he had an opportunity to lay the ball to Cavani, who was open. He decided to run by himself. That's what separates the world-class players from the average players. Now, I'm not saying Marcus Rashford is average, but he is not world-class. He's a good player, but he is not world-class. And for him to go to that world-class level, he needs to mature in his way of thinking. We could have scored from that situation, but because he thinks like he's playing under 13 football, where you just run by yourself, that's what happens. So that's what separates the players, is their decision making. It's their decision making. Yes, it's the talent, but it's their decision making. So Eric Bailly, you can question his decision making because in the past he's shown us that he gives away red cards and that he gives away penalties. And I think that's the reason why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer prefers Victor Lindelof. He has more trust in Lindelof. Lindelof doesn't give away penalties, doesn't give away red cards. But in saying that, Eric Bailly is our best centre back. He's better than Lindelof and he's much better than Maguire. So, but I just feel that Ole will continue with his strongest partnership, which is Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire. And look here guys, it doesn't matter which centre back we put out there. We can even put Swansea out. We can put Swansea and Eric Bailly. It doesn't really matter because this is Fulham that we are versing. We are versing a relegation team. So I expect us to turn that team over no matter who we play in the defence. I don't even expect them to trouble our defence. So that's the back line. The back line starts with Wan-Bissaka. It's Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, and then obviously we know Luke Shaw. Another thing is that Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw at the back are facing one more card for them to get a red card. One more card for them to get a red card, and that's what they are facing. So it's a risk for Ole to be playing that. It's a risk for Ole to be playing those guys in such a game like this against Fulham, when the next game I think we have a Sheffield. Our next game is Liverpool in the FA Cup 4th round, and then after that is Sheffield. So we run a risk of either Luke Shaw or Harry Maguire, and on the top of the field Bruno Fernandes. They all on 4 yellow cards. If they get one more, they miss the next game. So that's a risk that we run. Will Ole still play on that risk? I do think so. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loves Harry Maguire. He loves Harry Maguire. For him, Harry Maguire is a very important player. For us, for me, I can only speak for myself. For me, he's not, because Eric Bailly is better than Harry Maguire. However, that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference. He is the manager. We're not the manager. I'm not the manager. So yes, I do think he'll take that risk and play Harry Maguire in this game, and I do think also he'll play Luke Shaw. I wouldn't mind if he starts Telles, but I don't think he'll start Telles. I think he'll start Luke Shaw. And then you go into the midfield, and you can see how I put this midfield out. So I said 4-2-3-1, and I said in the midfield we'll have Paul Pogba and Nemanja Matic. And I think that he might set up like this. He might set up like this to accommodate Edison Cavani, to bring Edison Cavani on the top of the pitch. And this is preferably the formation that I think he should go with. Because to have Paul Pogba in the midfield alongside Matic is good, because Paul Pogba can hold the midfield alongside Matic when we are under the cosh, and then when we are on top of the game, which should be about 70% of the 90 minutes, we should be on top of the game. Paul Pogba can then play as a number 8. He can be given freedom to go forward, with Nemanja Matic the only midfielder holding the midfield. We should not, as I said earlier, we should not be setting up with 2 orthodox holding midfielders. We should not be setting up like that against Fulham. Knowing this manager, he might do it because he's a negative manager, but we should not. So that's why this is my preferred formation, with Paul Pogba and Nemanja Matic holding as the 2 holding midfielders, with Paul Pogba obviously in most of the game being given freedom to go forward as a number 8. Then you go to the right wing. I think he'll put Marcus Rashford there. And then number 10, we know it's Bruno. The left will be Anthony Martial, and up front will be Edison Cavani. I think that this is our best team when we are approaching the smaller than the lesser clubs. This is a very attacking formation, and we need to play that because Edison Cavani is our best number 9. The problem at Manchester United is we don't see the best out of our strikers because we don't create opportunities. We don't have a system that creates chances. Everything is individual brilliance. Players have to pick up the ball and do things on their own. And that's a struggle for a number 9. So that's why also sometimes I prefer also having Anthony Martial up front, because Martial can do that. Edison Cavani can't do that. He's a proper number 9. Number 9s need service. But because Martial's a winger / number 9, he takes the ball and he can drive with the ball past one or two players. But this is our best formation. This is how I think we should set up. This is our next formation. This is a formation that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can set out with. Look at the back line stays the same. It's the midfield that will change. He can set up with, I do think he'll bring Matic in this game. I do think so. Matic plays when we play the lesser teams. So I don't think he'll play Matic, and then he can play either one of Scott McTominay or Fred. He can play one of them. I think he'll probably go for maybe maybe a Fred. He'll play Matic and Fred, and then he'll play Paul Pogba on the left, Bruno in the number 10, Marcus Rashford on the right, and Anthony Martial. This is a way he can set up. With this formation, you're getting the very best out of Paul Pogba. You're getting a maximum out of Paul Pogba with this formation. This is the formation that has served us success for the last couple of weeks, and this is the formation that we've seen Paul Pogba play at a level that no one else in Europe in the midfield plays at. So this is an option that he can choose. However, I will always choose the first formation that I showed you, because that's for me more attacking. That's more attacking, where we only have one holding midfielder and the rest of the players are attacking, with Paul Pogba obviously doing the box-to-box roles. But it doesn't matter which formation Oli really picks out. This is Fulham, guys. This is Fulham. We need to be rolling them over. As I said, nothing less than a 2-goal lead should we be giving Fulham. Nothing less. We should be beating them by 2 clear goals, nothing less. And I don't even expect them to score a goal, because they are not a very good team. This is a guaranteed 3 points in my view, and anything less than a 3 points is a poor result. But I do believe the team will get the 3 points, because our players are so much better than Fulham's players. So much. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a penalty, because as I said earlier in this video, small teams commit too many poor mistakes. That's why the players are playing for those teams and are not playing for the best team, because of their decision making. They make wrong decisions. It fathoms me that Manchester United thrive on penalties. Sometimes the only way United score or win games is by penalties. Our forward players play for penalties. Why don't you tell your defenders to stay on their feet? Tell your defenders stay on their feet, and tell your defenders defend with their arms at the back. You cannot be giving Manchester United a penalty. If it means you must jockey your opponent in the box and don't commit to the tackle and don't put your leg out to the tackle, then so be it. Because a lot of the times we won't score from that attack, and we are playing for the penalty. But these are things that I don't know if the managers are telling their players, or I don't know if the players are just not good enough to not make that challenge at that moment in time. I wouldn't be surprised, because as I said, they are small players and there's a reason why they're playing for those clubs. But yeah, guys, nothing less than a victory am I accepting. Nothing less. Let's get the victory. Manchester City won their game now against who they versed. Oh, I even forgot who they versed. But they won their game 4-0. They won their game 4-0. So for us now, Manchester City got one more game in hand. Should they win their game in hand, they will go first on the log, above us by 1 point. 1 point. So yeah, we just need to keep the pressure on. That's what we need to do. We need to beat these small teams. I don't expect us to beat the big teams. Even we're playing Liverpool now in the FA Cup 4th round. Honestly speaking, I don't expect us to beat Liverpool. I don't expect us to beat Liverpool because, I don't expect us to beat big teams. Our manager sets up in a very negative way when we are playing big teams. He tries and hit them on the counter, and it's not been working this season, because the big teams have studied our game and they're nullifying the counter attack. So yeah, guys, let's get the victory over Fulham. That's all I want. Let's get the victory over Fulham. Let's keep the pressure on Manchester City and also on Liverpool. Liverpool will come right. Don't get me wrong. Liverpool will be in the top 3. They will. That Leicester City thing, that's going to die away. Leicester City don't have the players to maintain that. They've got the manager. That's a very good manager, Brendan Rodgers. He's a very good manager, but the players, he doesn't have the caliber of players to maintain that. Whereas Liverpool, they are struggling right now. They are struggling, but if they can sort out their centre-back position, because you must understand, it's not just the centre-back. They're taking players out of the midfield to play in the centre-back. So it affects their centre-back and it affects their midfield. It's not just the centre-back position. So if they sort out their centre-back position, which would mean that Henderson can therefore go into the midfield again, or Fabinho can go into the midfield again, making the midfield much stronger. I got no doubt that Liverpool will be in the top 3 conversation. But I also feel that we will also be in the top 3 conversation. Just doesn't... I don't think we'll be first. Let me be honest or true, Manchester City, I tipped them to win the league. I don't think we have enough to win the league. We've got the right players as the manager and the coaches that we don't have. But be it as it may, guys, let's get the victory against Fulham. Ciao. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, don't be like that. Subscribe right now so you can see more content of this quality. Let's go.